Hey, what's cracking? How are you doing today? Hope this video finds you doing well. I hope that everything is going your way. Thank you for clicking on the video, for taking the time to watch it today. If it's the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, my name is Ricky Dye, and I went to prison when I was 15 years old in the state of Oklahoma. I was there for 20 and a half years. I got out when I was 35, almost 36. And I didn't go to the easy places, never made it to a minimum. I did all my time in medium and maximum security in the roughest places. And I went from solitary confinement when I got out straight to the streets. So one minute I was in the hole, next minute I was walking around Walmart after 20 years. And I can't go back and change my past and the mistakes that I made that got me to prison and made me go through all that time that I spent in there. But what I can do is share my experience in hopes that I can keep someone else from making the mistakes that I made. And that's what these videos are all about. If you're just now starting, you'll enjoy them most if you go back and watch them from the beginning, because it's more or less like a series, and I try to tell it in the order that it happened. But I do have different times where I throw in a videos about other things, and that's what I'm going to do today. I've had 3 different people in the last month uh, hit me up on Messenger or do a phone call with them after talking on Messenger, and they hit me up and say, "Hey man, I just got in trouble. I'm fixing to go do some time. I'm out on bond or whatever, but I'm about to go to A&R, and what's going to happen?" And they've listened to some of these videos maybe, and they think, "Oh shit, all that's going to happen to me." Well, the things that happen to me may not necessarily happen to you. Things were different for me for a number of reasons. You'll have to listen to my story to understand all those things. Uh, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like that for you. And I've had several people hit me up about that. I had one guy wanted me to make a video about what if he just came in and I was there and he met me. What would I tell him the rules were? Another guy asked, about the showers and chow and things like that, just regular things that people take for granted. So I thought today I would do a video about that. The rules, the regulations, and the repercussions when you don't follow those rules when you go to prison. So the first thing that's going to happen to you, maybe you're in the county jail waiting to pull chain and go to A&R, or maybe you are out on bond and you're going to go from there to A&R from the streets, and you've had a chance to get your affairs in orders first. And but either which way, you're going to get to A&R, and the first thing that's going to happen, I'm not sure if they still shave your head, but when I went through, they shaved your head. The reason is after that you can put on any disguise you want, and they can add beards or hair or whatever to put pictures out, try to find you. Okay, they're going to make sure they have your fingerprints. If you have a violent crime, they're going to take some blood and get your DNA. uh, if you have any medical issues, if you need dental work, if you have medical issues, you're diabetic, whatever, heart problem, high blood pressure, doesn't matter what it is. While you're in A&R, they're going to assess all that, and they're going to make sure you have the medications that you need. One lady was worried about that. She said, "Hey, he's in A&R. I can't get in touch with him. Is he getting his medicine? Because he's schizophrenic. He needs those meds." They are always going to make sure you get the medication you need. That's just part of the rules in the Constitution. They can't do you certain ways. People in prison file lawsuits on them all the time to get those rights for people who are in prison. Because when you go to prison, you pretty much lose all your rights. Anytime a man can come in your cell, make you get butt naked and bend over and show him your butthole, you've lost everything. You can't go home. You can't call your family if you want to. If someone dies, you can't go to the funeral. There's a lot of things about prison that are bad besides fights, besides getting stabbed. There's other things that are worse than that stuff, in my opinion. So it's greatly, when you get to A&R, they're gonna do all that for you. And during this time, they're gonna decide where you're gonna go. Where you're gonna go, whether you go to a minimum or a work center or medium or straight to maximum security, is going to depend on your crime, how heinous it was. Was it a murder case? Did you have a bunch of drugs where you distribute them? Did you just get caught with a little? Exactly how bad was your crime? And how much time did you get for that crime? If you've just got 5 years, you're going to go to a minimum security or lower right off the bat, especially if you've never been in before. If you have nothing against you, no prior offenses from being in prison, you're probably going to go to a minimum security. When you get there, your main thing that you've got to worry about is you, because you're the one who can trick you off. If you go to prison on a 5 or 10 year sentence, man, you can make that time count for you, or you can do the time, or the time can do you. And you can go in there. One guy told me he didn't have a GED. Was they going to make him go to school? And I'm like, brother, you want to take advantage of that time that you're down. And if you were out here in the world, you're going to be working. You're going to be doing a job. You don't have time to go get a GED. But now you do have time to get a GED. Get that and have that so that when you get out, you have that now. You know you've got it, man. It's something to be proud of. And I know the guy can do it. He runs his own business. He's a smart fella, man. I have no doubt in my mind after talking to him, he's going to go do his time and get out. He's going to go get that GED. He's going to do him some programs, and he's going to come home to his family. And you can do that. Or I have one of my best friends. I grew up with him, and his son got some time. He's going in there to do a 5-year sentence too. And I was able to sit and talk with him before he went. And I talked to him just like I talked to you in these videos. I explained to him that you don't go borrow from people. Don't get involved with the drugs. Anywhere you go, you're going to be able to get a hold of weed in Oklahoma prison. No matter where you go, people get in trouble, they search for Oklahoma prison. And that is another reason I wanted to post this video for this. If you get in there, you go get you some weed, you start sending cash apps to people, then you're not, then you're going to be there a while, man. You're going to get into trouble. You're going to get a dirty UA. You might get in a fight over one of the deals you make. You're going to end up in medium security. And then you're going to face the things that I talk about in these videos. So if you get lucky enough to get to a minimum security, don't smoke weed, man. Don't smoke weed, man. Don't do no hard dope. Don't put yourself in situations where you need to have a knife while you're there, because a knife's going to get you 20 more years. Don't have a syringe. It's a sharpened object. They'll give you 5 to 20 for that. Don't do that kind of shit. You go to prison. You go to the first thing you do is, if you don't have a GED or some education, you go get your GED. Then you start taking programs, because if you stay out of trouble on level 2, you can start earning 22 extra days a month. On level 3, you get 33 extra days a month. So you're getting 2 months instead for every month you do. If you're on level 4, you get 44. That's 2.5 months. For every month you do, you knock 2.5 months off your sentence. Even if you don't make parole, you're knocking it down. And you're allowed to earn 90 extra days a year for programs. So you go get your GED, that's 90 days right there. You do a VOTEC, that's 80 days. You go to AA or NA, and those are 15 days each. You go to MRT, and it's like 30 or 45. So these days stack up, and you can earn an extra 90 every year, along with that 2.5 every month. And before you know it, you've done your time. You can do a 5-year sentence in probably 2.5, 3 years, even if you have to do it all. But the chances are, if you're going to work every day, if you've already have your education, if you go and you get a job and you go to work every day, and you don't get in fights with other inmates, and you're probably going to make parole in a year and a half. So when you get out, you can be in good shape. You should be taking advantage of things you can't do out here in the streets that you don't have time for. You should be working out every day. There's exercise machines there. There used to be free weights, but inmates messed that up by hitting each other in the head with weights. So now there's just machines. But you should be doing that stuff every day. There should be an hour set aside, because you have nothing but time to go and exercise. So that when you get out of prison, you're in good shape physically, you're in good shape mentally, you haven't been doing drugs, you can't buy tobacco products, so you've got your wind back, you can breathe good. When I got out when I was 35, I was probably in the best shape of my life. Could run miles, I didn't smoke cigarettes, I didn't drink coffee, I didn't do drugs, nothing. And that was because I was on a yard where there wasn't anything there, couldn't get nothing. They couldn't send me to minimum, so they sent me to Crabtree, and it was like it was a soft medium where, there was nothing there. People tell on everybody. But most mediums and most minimums you're going to be able to get any drug you want. So another thing you don't want to do is go and get all the canteen you can get. Family can send you so much money. If you're on level 2, you can draw down $20 in canteen. If you're on level 3, you can draw like 50 or 60. And if you're on 4, you can draw 80. But you don't want to go up there and draw down $80 in canteen every time you go to the canteen, because people look at you and say, man, he's always on the phone. Family comes, sees him, he's drawing down fat sack every time. They're going to start trying to find ways to be your buddy, because people don't just straight come at you and gaffle you right off the bat usually. There are times when inmates go and just rob other inmates, just come in there and gaffle them and take their shit. And that's another way you put a target on yourself, by having all that damn canteen. If you didn't have all that, they wouldn't be scheming on you. Okay, so if you just go up there to the canteen, man, get you some stamps, what you need to wash your ass, get you a bag of coffee if you drink coffee, get you some soups and beans to make it by. You don't have to have everything on the canteen. Someone comes to you, and this is a big deal. Come up to you, hey man, you got a shot of coffee? And all you got is about a half a bag. You got enough to make it till you go back to the canteen. But you don't say that. You say, no man, I ain't got none. I walk off. A few minutes later, I see you down there heating up coffee at the microwave. Well, you're a lying mother. You lied to me. You're a piece of shit. What you should have said was, all I got is enough to get by, man. Man, I do got some, but all I got is enough to make it till I go to canteen. Then I'm going to say, I respect that, though. I'm going to go on. You know what I'm saying? Then you're a stand-up dude. Everything is 100% like white or black. You can't be one or the other. There's no gray in prison. Everything is what it is. You don't have to be a killer, but don't act like a killer if you're not. If you don't have to be a fighter. Not everyone is a fighter and a killer. But don't walk around here talking like you are if you're not one. It's okay to not be one. Just don't act like it if you aren't. It's okay to be gay. But if you are gay, don't act like you're not gay. Because no matter what you are, it's going to come out when you're in prison around other people 24 hours a day. It's going to be people pull your hoe card and check you, man. So my partner's son, he goes in. First thing he does, he's called me in a week or two. Can you cash that money here? Can you cash that money there? Shit, you know, you want to help them out, but they start one cash out 3-4 people. Here's what happens. Okay, there's always a cell phone on one of the yards you're on. Someone has got a cell phone, you guarantee it. And the police are on that shit because one time in prison, these gangs ordered hits on 3 or 4 yards, McAllister and 3 mediums. All of them at 2 o'clock took off on this other gang. All of them attacked them at the same time, 4 different prisons. That was correlated through cell phones. Couldn't have done that without them. Couldn't have done it without cell phones. And that's also how people figure out ways to get in drugs. They tell the people on the outside how to do it. And the officers have no way of interfering or catching them because they're not using the phones that are listened to. Okay, so that's a big deal to the police. And when they bust a cell phone, they go back and they search that number and they pull records and find everyone who was called on that cell phone. And if those guys were dealing in drugs and you have sent money to them people in one way or another, and they have records of you being on those phone calls, next thing you know, you're on the news, man. You're one of those 74 people involved in a drug ring busted in Oklahoma because you sent money to your son or your brother or nephew or husband on Cash App to someone you don't know so that he can get a deal, and he's borrowed that cell phone and called you. He paid them to use it 10 minutes. But when they get busted with that phone, they don't realize all that. As far as they know, you've sent money to support these drug deals, and your number is on the list of people who have been called. So you're involved in supporting these drug deals, and you'll be facing time. And they'll want to know everything that you know. And if you tell on anything, if you admit to anything, and don't go ahead and get in trouble because you're free, you're just trying to help, you're going to make whoever you're helping in there look like they helped, and it puts a jacket on them like they've told. So send the money to their books, not on Cash App, if you really want to help the people you love. Okay? And that's not how you do your time, man. You get in there, you read books. If you read books, no matter what your reading level is today, whether you're in prison or out here, no matter what your reading and writing level is, you start reading books. Start with books only short books you like, and you read them. And before you know it, you'll be reading more. And your reading level and your writing level will shoot through the roof. You'll learn how to write just like they do, just by reading a lot. Reading raises everything for you. It helps your mental, it helps everything. So read, physical exercise, those things really help you. In the future, now that I'm done, I'm going to stop with that on there. In the future, I'm going to make some workout videos. I'm going to do the workouts that I did when I was in lockup every day. Things that you can do if you have no space at all. The things I did to not only stay in shape, but to get in better shape while I was in the hole. And if you've noticed, I've put out a few shorts. They were done by Tommy Field. Shout out to Tommy Field. He has taken interest in my videos, and he wants to help me. He has a career in marketing and stuff, and he really thinks he can help me out. I'm going to meet with him, and he's going to try to help me blow up. He thinks that he can get me, way more subscribers, and I'm always down for that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still going to have my regular videos, but I'm going to do a series called Oklahoma Prison Legends. It'll be about the guys that you hear about as soon as you get to McAlester. These are the killers. These are the, you know what I'm saying? Danny Parker. He's going to be the first video. I've talked about him several times. DP, the machine, Danny Parker. He's going to be the first one. And this video will be edited. Something, I'm not sure what all is going to be done. There'll be other little pictures, whatever he thinks he can do to improve it. I'm going to send the Danny Parker video to Tommy. He's going to hook it up for me. Then I'm going to watch it and upload it. And in the future, I've also got another cooking video. I think I'll do a live before long. And this time we're going to make some refried beans and soup and cheese and meat, summer sausage burritos. And I'll list the recipe for that. And I hope you guys will drop in and watch it. Until then, shout out to the riders and dyers who ride till the wheels fall off, and dyers keep riding even when they do. Y'all are the ones, baby. Thank you the most. But thank all you subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to do something good. Help me out, brother. Peace out. May God bless, keep, and protect you and yours until the next one.